Curling now enters the Sports Weekend spotlight.
Off the flight from Norway back to Canada. Let's talk about Europeans, because it was a Scottish sweep for the first time ever. And did they ever look good, Mike?
Yeah, they played fantastic. I think everyone kind of expected Team Mowat to do well, but Eve Muirhead to me was the big surprise. They had that 9-person rotation going at the start of the season with who knew who was going to end up on the team, and they played amazing. So it was really nice to see. I was talking to David Murdoch. I said, it appears Eve has found something with her new team, and her third, Vicky Wright, just played fantastic. And yeah, they made it look pretty easy, actually. But they've got a bit of work to do. They're not in Beijing yet. They have to go to that Olympic qualifying event up, in a couple of weeks in the Netherlands.
Well, as you gathered some intel for the Olympics, when you're looking at the Europeans, what's standing out for you besides just how darn good they all are now?
Well, listen, I don't care who wins Canada. We've got Hasselborg and Tirinzoni. Tirinzoni missed the playoffs, by the way, which was shocking. So you got Hasselborg and Tirinzoni, who you could argue are 1 and 2. And then you've got Mowat and Edin. So it doesn't matter who wins Canada. They're going to have their hands full in Beijing at the end of the day. And then with a few surprises along the way, I thought Kovaleva, even though they lost the semi to Anna Hasselborg, they looked great. There's just a lot of very good teams and a few surprises. Germans won the bronze in the women's, but they're having to go to that Olympic qualifier.
I love that.
Well. So
wow.
So look at the Olympic qualifier. You've got the silver medalists from Pyeongchang, the bronze medals from Pyeongchang, Eve Muirhead, bronze medalist from Sochi. Those are 3 of the teams that are there, plus Germans who won the bronze last week. So that Olympic qualifying event is something you do not want to be a part of. Trust me. So there's you've got 3 spots, and I would say there's 4 or 5 really good teams there, and it's going to be a battle.
Well, and to that point, Mike, Canada was an oops away from having to go and play in that, and that would have been a white-knuckling situation, right?
But
the question we've been asking the fans. Good point. Yeah. The question we've been asking the fans today, Mike, is about the format of the Canadian Olympic curling trials. And we've been hearing a lot of fodder about this because, of course, the men's final in the States had a best of 3. We could have a 4-loss team here
on the women's side.
On the women's side, defeat an undefeated team in a 1-game showdown. The Europeans have a different model. What do you make of the trials? Is there any tweaking needed?
Well, it's the old story. If it's not broken, doesn't need to be fixed, right? But I mean, without us winning a medal in Korea, the Curling Canada may have had a chance to change the date, to change the format, and they chose not to. I don't know whose decision that is at the end of the day, but I think the athletes, there's more rumblings from the athletes now to get the team named earlier, whether that's the end of the season prior or whatever that happens to look like. I think. I didn't really think that the players minded the format so much, but now that they see how much time the other teams have to prepare and get ready, I think there's certainly some rumblings that the players would like it to happen. So I think that will help expedite maybe some of the conversations with Curling Canada. But if they win 2 gold medals or 3 gold medals, then everyone might just say, okay, that worked just fine.
Everyone's happy. It was all good. Really good. Super. Tell us about who your picks are now. So let's start with the Battle of the Brads. So
at the start of the week, I picked Jacobs just because I kind of the Mark Kennedy factor. But Gooch is pretty undeniable. They've lost 2 games all year. So, like they're saying, the right thing to say is we're gonna have a great rep. I mean, that's the good news. And then to me, Tracy Fleury just seems undeniable as well. What is going on there? They just you keep waiting for the shoe to drop, right? And they just keep winning and winning. It's amazing. They're playing so well. They're making it look easy. Everything that I've been watching is just been. I don't see any reason to not pick them to be the winner of this thing in the final. So, whoever does win is gonna have to play really well to beat her. That's what I see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real 4-person team, though, isn't it? And not denying who's behind the bench, too, but just the way they work together and they stay calm and they're supportive. And how can you not stay calm when Tracy is miscalm?
Well, and to your
God.
point, Mike, the whole idea about Fleury, I know you're kind of saying the shoe to drop because, of course, this is her first Olympic trials, and I think that team kind of flies under the radar.
There.
Yeah, no, it's not
go
just
ahead.
that for me. I mean, I've watched them for a long time. Like Selena and Liz, and they are so much more consistent than they ever were in years leading up to this. So something happened over the pandemic, and I just think they're just so impressive now. All 4 players, they're great sweepers, they're great communicators. They're making all the shots. It's not just Tracy. All 4 players have just been really, really impressive, and it's great to see. Hard work pays off, right? And and Tracy, they brought Chelsea into play at the Scotties last year because she was uncomfortable with it. So they got a great fifth, a great resource in Chelsea. Chelsea knows the game really well. Sherry Madaw back there as well. So, they seem to have done all the right things, and they're playing great. So now, you've got 2 awesome teams as well. Yeah, I think they're for real. They won a slam pre COVID. And everyone kind of thought it might have been a one-off and whatnot, but look at what they've done since the season started. They won a slam, lost a final of another, and then just kind of rolled right through the round robin here. You don't do that by accident, Colleen, as you know. I mean, when you're playing the women caliber of teams that we have, just so good.
Yeah, this is no accident. This has been years in the making. They're an overnight success, years in the making. That's what this has been, and they found the magic. And you know what I want to see? I want to see Sherry Madaw and Wayne Madaw coaching when that
would be a sight for sure.
Hasselberg. Yeah.
Well, and I think that'd be fantastic. Yeah, I think that's a great story, but again, they're, like you said, just a wonderful resource, and I know that Wayne leans on Sherry and vice versa. I don't think they share the inner secrets of what's going on with the teams, but there really aren't any, it's not, there are no inner secrets, right? I mean,
it's obvious to all of us what this,
right. You just gotta
you can all watch all the games and get an idea.
Right.
You know what?
Work hard and play well, and
they're hard
all that stuff, right?
That's the secret.
Last question for you, Mike. It's the eve of a Olympic trials final. You have experienced this. What are these skips thinking about on the eve of it, and what were you thinking about in Brandon?
Well, I think we've got a couple of different scenarios, right? You've got Jennifer Jones, and you've got, I'm not saying Jennifer Jones, if she happens to win, she's been there before. You've got Brad Jacobs and Brad Gushue who have been there before. When I was listening to Mark Kennedy talk a little bit about it, he said, if we don't win, I've been there and I'm not going to be that upset. Right before the 2010 Olympic trials finals between Glenn Howard and Kevin Martin, Richard Hart was playing third, and he texted me, and what he said was, how did we get through that? He was really quite nervous, and I think that the fact that we didn't really know any better was kind of working in our favor. But he also said to me at that time, if I don't happen to win this week, it's okay. I've been before. So I think all 8 of the men, well, not all 8, but both of those teams have so much experience and have won so much. It's not going to, I don't think you're going to be any more nervous than they would be for playing in the Champions Cup, for example. As Brad Jacobs was joking about.
That joke going, yeah.
So I think Tracy and her team might have a little bit more nerves than, say, Jennifer Jones might, but I just think you have to stick with the process, right? It sounds cliche, but when we went into even when we got down to the 10th end of the final, we knew that we hadn't won anything yet until the last rock stops. I think. And I think all the teams are ready. I think that's the biggest thing, and that's the big. They just have to remain confident in their preparation, and then there's no surprises once you get into the how you're going to perform. Of course, you can't really control that. We saw that with Kevin Cooey today. But they're not going to leave anything unturned, and they're all ready to go. So I'm not really worried too much about it, and nor should they be worried. You know, I didn't sleep. I'm not going to say that I slept great, because I didn't. But because you just really what they want to do is just get it going. I mean, I can't imagine waiting until, was it game at 8 p.m. or something, the men's game tomorrow? Like, I can't imagine waiting until prime time. That's a long day. That is a long day of waiting. So
no wonder why Mark Kennedy wanted to talk to us. He's
right. Yeah. How am I going to kill a few hours? Right. So I think both teams are kind of itching to get going. I think, and all five in this case right now. So, but I'm excited to watch the game tonight, and we're going to have 3 excellent games to finish the weekend. So. Can I just say one other thing too about Scott Mitchell? That's Colin Mitchell's son.
Yeah.
So there's a tie-in for from Nagano. My second from Nagano just jumped in with Team Nova Scotia. So that's exciting. And then also Colleen and Lillehammer.
Oh.
You would remember that Mary Fay won the gold medal at the Olympic Youth Olympic Games in 2000. I think it was 2016. So there's a Nova Scotia tie everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, in all of this. So
there is a Nova Scotia tie.
Oh boy! Don't encourage her.
Everybody
Mike.
wants
Come
part
on.
of it. Well, we'll save the discussion of how do we make sure these Nova Scotia talents and the Newfoundland Labrador men's teams, et cetera, find a way in a geographically challenged world to be the next generation totally. When you don't live in Edmonton with the Saville Center, or Winnipeg where there's a great training center, how do we make sure the talent that is in the East that I see all the time is amplified?
Or stays there.
We'll save that for another day.
Look at Brad Gushue. Let's do it. Be like Brad.
I know.
Be like Brad.